You're listening to Two Nerds and a Joke with Robert and Ernie. This is where dreams come to die.
Thank you, disembodied hot girl voice. This is Two Nerds and a Joke with Robert and Ernie. I am Ernie.
I am Robert.
And we're here to educate you guys on some things that, we talk about on the regular here. Movies, kind of backstories, things of that nature. How it kind of touches the soul, somewhat philosophical.
Yes, getting a little heavy today. But fun heavy.
Fun heavy. Always a joke.
Always a joke, which we have to work on, we know. We've heard the feedback.
Yes, we've gotten the feedback. We're still wondering how to work in the joke.
And we can just blatantly say, okay, now we're going to give you a joke. I hope you enjoy. But we're not that kind
we
of
don't want to
way
be
yet.
that.
We don't want to be those guys.
We don't be those guys.
So, philosophy then. Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to start off a little off topic from philosophy, but still I think philosophical. And that is there any such thing as an original story? And we're going to do a comparison. I just saw this. Ernie turned me onto it because he's just that kind of guy, giving me the path to nerd. So I do appreciate that from him.
You're welcome.
Yes. And I just recently saw Enter the Dragon.
The 1971 Bruce Lee epic.
I'll go for epic,
It's
but
epic.
It's a story. So, growing up, one of my most specialist of first moments as a young adult, very young adult, like not even teenager, young adult really, was going to the premiere in 91, 92, I believe, of Mortal Kombat. The original, the first, the only one that was even slightly decent. And I loved the movie, not necessarily because it was a fantastic movie. It was okay, but it represented the first premiere I'd gone to, the first more adult movie I'd gone to, and some of the memorabilia I got from there, specifically a shirt, has specific impact to my life later on, which we're not going to get into today, but it did have impact. It was important. So I love the movie from that perspective, from nostalgia. So when Ernie first said to me, well, it's basically a blow-by-blow, scene-by-scene copy of Enter the Dragon, and this was just, what, last week?
I'd say a week or two ago.
I was like, you're full of it. And I was like, all right, now I need to see this to see if you're right or not. Unironically, as the fates would have it, speaking of philosophies and beliefs in a higher kismet, he was right. It almost is verbatim, except for a lot more nudity, which I was kind of impressed by.
Yes, well, it's 1970s nudity.
True, but there's still some side boob.
Yeah, side boob is always good.
Yes, and they're prostitutes.
Yeah.
Which was weird, which is one of the differences, obviously.
Yeah.
But literally, if you compare it, it was the same movie. So for you, when did you first find this out for you, Ernie? When was the first time you realized that they were pretty much the same thing?
So growing up in Arizona in the late 70s, early 80s, I was on a military base, Luke Air Force Base. We only had 3 stations at that time: CBS, NBC, ABC, and then you had the UHF channels. Well, I remember...
God, UHF channels.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
I
the
remember
second
those.
dial.
Yeah,
the
I
second
remember
dial.
that.
The second dial had the cool shows in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Kung Fu.
Was it 33?
It was either 33, 34, and you had to get it just
Yes,
right
I remember that. Oh, God. That's going back.
So I remember as a kid watching these shows on Saturdays with my dad, because my dad would have Saturdays off being in the Air Force. I don't know how he worked that out, but he had Saturdays off, and we would watch TV. We'd go into the TV room, and he'd put on Kung Fu, and that was with David Carradine. And I remember my dad talking about this one scene where he referenced Bruce Lee. And it just so happened that later that same evening, on that same channel, they showed Enter the Dragon.
Wow.
And
with the nudity, or not?
Well, it was like quick glance, quick cut. Like, it was still TV back then.
Right.
So it was like a quick cut. So if only people in the theater got to see the nudity, they basically would shorten those scenes that had any nudity in them.
Right.
Or they would zoom in on the main character and like the nudity be off camera. So the screen was stretched. So imagine the screen being stretched.
Okay, wow. Okay, that's weird.
It was weird watching, but it was so cool because I remember, wow, who is this guy Bruce Lee? Then I remember...
He was crazy.
Well, yeah, he was insane in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
The voices didn't quite match up.
Very corny, very 70s.
It was very 70s,
But he
dubbing.
spoke English, though,
Yes,
right? I mean,
he's
so
from here.
Yeah, yeah.
He's from California.
Oh, really?
Or
Okay.
Seattle or wherever, West Coast kid. And then he went back over there to do the filming for these shows, and he spawned a whole genre. I mean, he had hundreds of movies. They were all crap. This was the one that put him on the map.
Yeah.
And
Sadly, the last one, though, right?
And it was the last one because he passed away.
Yeah.
And they had the movie saying that it's all like it's a part of fate and philosophy. Go back to that, he basically fulfilled his destiny.
He found that perfect movie.
He found that perfect movie. How can you do anything better? And then he moves on, but he inspires an entire generation and an inspired genre, because to me that movie basically was the blueprint for all subsequent kung fu movies after that. Before that, it was like you would have a movie with a lot of fighting, a little bit of dialogue, and a convoluted story that really didn't make sense.
You know what it reminds me of is that the Barber and His Daughter cartoon that was in, what is that? I want to say Futurama. You remember where the father and daughter go around, and he was a barber during the day, and then he fought these monsters with his daughter? I don't think it was Futurama. I think it was Family Guy, maybe. One of those shows, and they had that kind of... It was crappy, and they did the dubbing themselves. They were big fans of these old Japanese, no story, big monster, lots of fighting.
Right.
Yeah, so they still imitate that stuff, even in modern stuff.
Yes.
Oh, no, it was Bob's Burger.
Bob's Burger.
That's where I saw it. That's the one. And it's the same thing. It's like they're still doing that genre. It's still there. Yeah. It's still as much part of the world today as it was back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at the fight scenes from Enter the Dragon, I mean, of course, they probably did a few takes. They were planned moves. And other times, you hear the stories that a lot of that was, actual sparring. They actually had to slow the camera down to, get his moves because he was that quick. It just adds to the mystique of the movie.
Well, and then it looked real. As bad as the dubbing was, as bad as some of the dialogue was, as much as there were some missing holes in the story and things he said that, okay, he's a monk. How does he know how to be a spy and climb over walls secretly? Where did that come from? Where's that backstory? It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool, but it doesn't...
and that's the whole thing. In that time, they didn't feel like they needed to do an origin story within a movie.
Right.
It was like, hey, this guy could do this. We're going to give you the credibility to say, all right, fine. You sold me on this. That's one of the ingredients. He knows this. He's trained to do this.
Right. The snake scene. Do you remember the snake scene when he throws the snakes in?
Oh, yeah, the snakes at the guy.
Where the hell do you have a snake? I mean, you go hunt for the snake, you just shove it through the window, and then the guys just jump. I mean, really? There's a door right there. But yeah, so stuff over the top stuff like that was like a little plot stuff. But the fighting scenes, especially the end scene with the mirrors and the doppelgangers and all that, you really got a sense of real fighting.
Yes.
And they could take their hits. But, he'd have a scratch mark or claw mark, and he'd be scratched up.
Yeah.
And I tried to look for inconsistencies, from scene to scene. But I think they shot that, like on the same day or literally almost the same time, because it didn't move.
And that's how those directors
And that makeup was so... It was so... What's the word for it? So just everyday looking wounds.
Yeah.
They didn't overdo the makeup.
Right.
They just did... And it looked real because they did it so...
Well, because they didn't make
cheaply, I guess is the word for it.
They didn't make it glaringly... Kind of like today, when you see, for instance, Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Mm.
They really wanted you to, see him, take the hits. Mm-hmm. And you see the cut over his eye from fighting fist to fist with the Russian dude.
Mm-hmm.
Was he Russian or German? They were German.
German.
They were German.
Not Russian. German.
Yeah, the big German dude. He took a rifle butt to the face and...
Still gets me every time is that glass scene.
Oh,
dude.
when he has to walk across the grass.
God. Oh.
Hey, that was Bruce Willis at his finest.
Oh, yeah. That was good. I liked the first one. Second, third ones were... The first one was good.
First one was good.
The first one was good.
And look...
Second, third one were bad. They're just kind of, okay, I've seen this. He's doing the same thing 3 times.
And thanks to the...
It's kind of like Taken.
Thanks to the wonderful internet, they kind of like to poo-poo those trilogies, which are from a certain time in our life. Those trilogies happen at the perfect time. The Die Hard trilogy happened at the perfect time. Enter the Dragon happened at the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat, same thing. Happened at the perfect time.
Yeah.
When I saw Mortal Kombat, now mind you, I was a fan of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was a mediocre player.
Me too. I didn't like the style. It was too stiff for me.
It was weird, you know.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like, I'm like, wow.
It was a Street Fighter dude.
Yeah, Street Fighter was more cartoonish, so you could do all the crazy acrobatics. This looked more true to life. Like, these were like, it looked like somebody like took like a handy cam and took a picture of a guy who looked like Bruce Lee. I mean, a lot like Bruce Lee, and gave him the same "what, you know.
And those, I know that's him saying those things.
Yes.
That was,
it has to be.
he had the crazy eye, dude.
Oh, and then he'd do that pause. Where he'd like flex.
Oh yeah, he's like flex, like, oh, okay, I really don't want any part of you right now.
No,
it was scary.
Yeah, and he was taking out the bigger guys.
Yeah. Oh well, he had the moves. But yeah, did he do that and all those strange, crazy eye things in his other movies? I've never seen much of his stuff.
He had the one signature pause where, like, after he would do like a devastating punch, he would kind of like frame himself and like outstretch his arms.
Yeah.
That was his signature.
Okay. But yeah, I mean the whole thing, and and again there are differentials between the two movies, but plot, story, overarching theme, it is the same movie.
And I remember watching the movie, and I was helping a friend visit his grandparents in Jacksonville when the movie premiered. So we watched it at a movie theater that neither one of us knew. We just knew that it was coming out that night. We watched it. I was thinking we were going to see all these crazy finishing moves.
Right. It is Mortal Kombat after all.
It is Mortal Kombat. It's based on the fact that, dude, that's the first time I ever saw a game where a guy punched the head of another guy off. Another guy
completely off too.
Ripped the guy's skull out with the spine dangling.
I remember that one.
I was like, holy cow, this is a video game. What a world. And the quarters were just lined up on it, because I remember that was the first 75-cent game I played. It was 75 cents.
I didn't realize it was that expensive.
Yeah. So, and I remember having to line up the quarters
on
the screen on next.
Yep.
Tick, 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 tick. And then you'd see it like all lined up. Somebody's like, I'm going to be here a while. And they just line up like a roll. And I just remember watching them and just being in like awe of like that whole thing. Like, finally Kung Fu's coming back with a little bit of an edge. A lot of that mysticism. Once again, it's that whole, the world's in peril.
Right.
It's coming to a crashing end because this evil is descending upon us as foretold by centuries.
Which is one thing they extenuated, or extenuated? Made more so.
Yes, made more so.
I'll go with that. In Mortal Kombat than there was in the Bruce Lee version.
Yes.
There wasn't that big impending world coming to an end. He's just a bad guy who needed to be killed.
Yeah, he was a bad guy.
There's
we can never get this guy. He always eludes us.
I think the cops made a lot of excuses. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
A lot of excuses were made.
I mean, how else can you lose a guy that has a claw? I mean,
just saying, for an arm, it's pretty, he's not, walking through any airport security. That's for dang sure.
And he's super rich.
Oh, massive.
Massive rich.
Well, but the rich get away with shit, so.
That is true.
That is true. Very true.
Plus the cohorts there. You had the tall black guy with the afro.
Those girls were hot. His daughters were hot.
And then you had the American dude who...
Typical, right? Same.
Yeah,
almost the same, except their vice was slightly different. Because the American dude in the Bruce Lee movie, he gambled.
Yes.
The American guy in the Mortal Kombat movie was a movie star.
Yes.
So slightly different vice, same... Needless to say, they were both rich.
Yes.
And they both ended up sacrificing themselves for the greater good, if you will, to some extent.
Yeah,
but there were no Freeze and Venom dudes. There were no twins of any sort in Enter the Dragon that there were in the movie. Like, these were the guys that were like, holy, who the heck are these? Still defeatable, but who the heck are they? That did not show up anywhere. The intimidation was not the same. Because one person online I saw quoted, well, they have the cohorts come in and intimidate everybody. They didn't really intimidate. They're just throwing arrows at people's faces. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a little scary, but it's like, okay, four-armed big dude comes in and intimidates. A little more intimidating, but again, same feel.
Right.
And they had the gore, and they had 4 syllables, I think it was, as I saw online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Geo, whatever, for gore, and then the guy was, Kato, Kaina? Yo, the big dude with the boobs. There's nothing wrong with some man boobs, I guess, but Jesus.
Gosh.
He was literally, like, breaking people in half.
Yes.
Big dude. But he was there, and he definitely... and one thing I never understood, and again, I guess because it's like, you don't need explanation. What were with all the black-shirted dudes in the cages? Let them out, and they just go crazy on the white, the army.
Yeah.
Like, what was that about? that just was weird to me.
Well, once again, it's one of those movies that when it's written, it's kind of like, okay, what else can we do to like really show off this scene?
Right.
I know. Let's just throw a whole bunch of these guys. Well, who are these guys? Who cares?
There's a lot of who
How
cares.
How did they get there? Who cares?
That's what I.
You know what
there's
I mean?
there's a lot of who cares. It
doesn't matter. Just and it kind of harkens back to like I was telling you about the Flash.
Mm.
You know what really got me on the Flash was when Barry's asking Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Eobard Thawne finally reveals spoilers. finally reveals himself as being Reverse Flash, and that he came back to like destroy the Flash because in the future they're enemies. Well, why are we enemies? Doesn't matter.
Great line. It's a great line.
Yeah.
It's a great line.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter why I hate you. I just hate you. Deal with it. Deal with the outcome of it. And it's nice to not be explained to death.
Yes.
And it is nice that certain movies, certain scenes treat their audience like they have half a brain.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And this is our transition and our segue. Zoom. There it goes.
Nice.
There's the segue.
Do segues make noise though?
Mine does. If I get a segue, it's going to make noise.
I thought the whole idea was a Segway was quiet, mobile.
But it is from the future.
Nice.
And there's our transition.
There's the transition. Well, to be honest with you guys, just to put a capper on it, I enjoyed both movies.
Yes.
I do believe Mortal Kombat is the more successful of the fighting movies.
Oh, I would wonder. I'd like video game, yes, and that genre. But I wonder between the two how they did in the box office, and not financials because financials have changed a lot since '90s and '70s. But like ticket sales, that would be interesting to look up at which one actually did better.
I think worldwide, I think with the news of Bruce Lee's death, Enter the Dragon edges out Mortal Kombat.
I would take that. I would take that. Yeah, I'd take that action. I think that'd be a true statement. Mortal Kombat may have had local appeal, but I don't know that it had the international.
The global.
Yeah, because Bruce Lee was known all over. I mean, that's a whole different level of.
And we're always behind the other countries in violent video games.
Oh
anyways.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're always behind the 8 ball there. Yeah. But back to the transition.
Back to transitioning to the future.
So one of the things I watched recently that, again, Ernie being the awesome man he is, actually turned me on to was Tomorrowland. Now, I had wanted to see it for a while. This isn't just, I should see it.
Which came out, and it got butchered.
It got destroyed.
It got bludgeoned.
And again, I thought it was kind of a cool concept. I was like, ooh, maybe they'll do this type of movie for every land at Disney.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland, they'll do...
they did the Pirates.
Before, right.
Which
Pirates.
didn't have a story before.
Right.
They made a story, very successful franchise.
Yeah.
Why not do Tomorrowland?
Yeah, it sounded reasonable.
Sense.
It sounded reasonable. So you had a whole bunch, and then I figured, okay, you could do Adventureland.
Yep.
You could do something in Epcot. You could do a whole bunch of different things. There's a whole bunch of different things. Cool. Would be awesome. But it just got destroyed. And by the time it came and went, that was gone.
Yeah.
Literally gone.
When it came out, people said that it was dialogue heavy.
Right. Which, that's never good or bad or the
for a
should
Disney
be.
movie.
And that's what pissed me off. It's like, okay.
It's dialogue heavy for a Disney movie. Well, and then they were like, well,
what does it even mean?
Who is this targeted to? Like, who is this targeted to?
It was mistargeted, though. I will agree with that because if it's a Disney movie and you're trying to target to kids, you're going to lose your audience.
And
it's
also,
not a kid's movie. It just isn't.
And also another movie that falls in the same thing with Tomorrowland. I know. Well, I don't know. Maybe our listeners will be against me. John Carter. Totally missed.
John Carter.
Remember? The dude the Civil War guy that goes up to Mars. You don't remember that movie?
Civil War guy that goes up to Mars. Keep going.
And he ends up saving he ends up in this this battle on Mars with the princess. Dude, you're looking at me with the blank stare.
I am looking at you blank stare. I don't think I saw that.
Oh my gosh, it is such a great movie. It was totally marketed.
No, that's next on my list.
Dude, it is
John Carter.
A good movie, and it totally got bludgeoned because everyone's expecting. Because remember, this was post Star Wars, and everyone was saying, you know what, George Lucas saw this and he liked it. And he based some of his stuff on the books, because the books are old.
Oh, yeah.
And then they made
I know the name. I'm pretty sure I must have seen it, but it's probably so long that I don't remember it.
It's also the worst title, too. It's John Carter. Another Disney thing. Disney tried. It failed.
Badly named movies.
But once it came out on home movies and they started showing on TV and people started watching it, people loved it.
Yeah. And that's sad because the movie for Tomorrowland too.
Tomorrowland's the same thing.
Yeah.
Go back to Tomorrowland.
But one of the things I think with John Carter and with Tomorrowland, there could have been another movie out of it.
Oh yeah.
They could have made more. Did they? No, because it's bombed so badly, and people just don't give it a chance. Now, one of the things, and this is one of the big things I think out of Tomorrowland specifically, and I think we're going to talk about this a little bit here, is, speaking of dialogue, is the speech.
Yeah.
There's a couple of moments of speech in that movie that are just like, I don't know, I think they were some of the best I've ever heard about the topic here, of course, being humanity as a whole. Now, there are a lot of great speeches about politics, about race, about all other, those are all wonderful, those are a different category. This is the speeches about humanity, where we are as a society, big picture. I know you have one or two, I have definitely one or two that would fall into that category, but they're very few and far between. That you really hear a good, here's what humanity is. Whether it's in a post-apocalyptic movie or in a modern-day movie, or even a movie in a period piece.
Period pieces, yeah.
So what are some of the best? One of the best from this, and I think you have at least one of the smaller scenes.
Yeah, and it's near the beginning of the movie, which kind of set the tone for me. Like, at first, it kind of moved slowly until I heard that exchange. It was Hugh Laurie's character and the young George Clooney.
Yes.
And the kid comes up.
And Hugh Laurie was awesome. Yes. I mean, come on.
Ever since he got away from the 101 Dalmatians, he's hit home runs.
He was in which one? 2?
He was in the live-action one.
Not the first one.
Yeah, he was one of the Stooges.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even remember him. I only remember...
He had that British Cockney accent.
Oh, that was nonsense, yeah.
So he says, okay, what do you got here? And the kid's like, I got a jetpack. Well, why a jetpack? Because it's cool. Like, that to me just blew my mind. I'm like, well, why else would you build a jetpack?
Yeah, that's it.
It's cool.
That's it.
There's no other purpose, but it's cool. Why not try to invent that?
Yeah.
And to me, like that kind of struck of almost similar to what we're doing now with the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing a podcast?
Because it's cool.
Because it's cool.
We're enjoying ourselves.
I'm having fun. Why'd you invent a podcast about these things? Why is that? Because it's cool.
It's fun.
It's fun. Why not?
And that movie had a little heartbreak in it, too.
It did.
And that was sad. I think that George Clooney is, I think, sometimes very underrated for his ability to be emotionally have depth.
To pull the emotion?
Yeah. And he does this weird thing where he's not showing emotion, but it's like almost you can see it right below the surface of him. So he's very stoic, a little distance, but you can tell by his intonation and how he holds himself that he's feeling a lot, but he won't show it, but he's feeling, but he won't show, but he's feeling. It's really interesting between him and the, spoilers, robot chick, who he falls for in the beginning of the movie, and how she kind of falls for him.
Yeah.
And ultimate sacrifice. I mean, Jesus. I mean, that right there, that scene was just, it was like, oh my God. It's unrequited love at its most pure. Because he was just a kid.
And keep in mind, Tomorrowland came out around the same time as Ex Machina, too. Which was another great movie that got no press.
Nothing.
It won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I'm like, dude, why did this win Best Original Screenplay? Something along those lines. Because it was great. Tomorrowland doesn't get any nods.
No. Nothing. Got nothing.
And, you know, who am I? I'm not on the board. I don't do the voting. I don't claim to be this big picture aficionado. I didn't go to film school. I can't break down a film. I can't tell between acts. Go sue me. I just want to find a good movie. You give me a good movie, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the speech, and you said it was in your...
Top 5.
Top 5?
Top 5.
On 5. Is Hugh Laurie's speech about the state of humanity. And I know some of the press it got was a little preachy. But you know what? We kind of deserve a little preachy at this point in our existence. I'm sorry. We need a good talking to. And if Hugh Laurie, of all people, is willing to take time of his career to give us this level of talk to, I'm okay with it. And it's Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
He could say, you know, the recipe off of a bread box, and I'd be happy. He's a great voice. And he just, what was the line? It was, you are careening towards the end of your species, and you're running towards it with open arms. You're loving it. You are glorifying the end of everything. You're glorifying it. And I was like, holy Criminy, Jiminy Cricket, if you will.
Yeah.
He's just taken a decade of film celluloid, if you will, to use an old term, TV and movies and books, and canned it in one speech. Well, I don't know who the writers were. I didn't look and see.
I didn't see who wrote it.
But damn,
yeah,
that was a good negative, anti-humanity. But damn, and you couldn't feel. I didn't feel like he deserved to die. He may have been out of place in the bigger picture. I was
going to say, like,
fine.
if he's...
It's hope versus... It's the whole thing about the wolves she talks about.
Yes.
And her dad talks about. It's a wolves thing. Which wolf are you feeding? You can't keep to feed the negative wolf. You can't. You know, that was good, too.
Yeah.
Her relationship with her father and that whole thing. No, she was a good actress. I was impressed.
Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those movies where a lot of... Because the bad press, when it came out, everyone was expecting something different. They saw George Clooney. They're thinking Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12. They're thinking
that. Don't bring in Ocean's 12. Jesus.
Or 13 or whatever. How many more did they have of those?
Ocean's 11 is where that should have stopped. Ocean's 11 was good. I enjoyed it.
They had 2 more after that.
Did they?
Yeah.
I know the 12. 12 wasn't really
the
bad.
one was the Julia Roberts not being Julia Roberts, but she really was Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And then the third
one was with this...
Al Pacino.
Yeah, it was the girl, though.
It was still Julia Roberts.
Was it still Julia? I thought there was another girl.
No, it was Brad. It was more centered on Brad Pitt's character.
Oh, that's what it was? Okay. Yeah, I don't think I even remember it. It wasn't worth my time. But I am excited. Well, we're not going to get into that. But I am excited for Now You See Me, Now You Don't, too.
Oh, yes.
Did you see the first one?
Yes. I saw it, not in the theaters. I saw it when it was released on DVD.
Okay.
And I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good movie, I thought. Not spectacular,
it has
but
Jesse
fun.
Eisenberg in it. It has Mark Ruffalo in it. It has
good cast.
Michael Caine.
Yeah. Can't go wrong. And
now, part 2, there's Michael Caine again.
Yeah, it looks like they bring in almost everybody up except for the girl.
Yeah, I think that was a money thing.
It is what it is. All right, where were we? All right, so best speeches.
Yes.
So that's in your top 5.
Yes.
I would say, what else? Independence Day has to come in there.
I was going to say Independence Day is
Oh, were you?
top 5.
Okay.
Because when that came out in the mid-90s...
That was a good speech,
though. In the mid-90s, movies were really anti...
America. Yeah.
It was
very
all about
unpatriotic.
pointing out the foibles. Yes, we all know. We have the checkered past with the Indians. We have the checkered past with the British.
We got it. We're not great people.
We get it.
We're not always great. It's fine. It's fair. But still.
That
was one of those moments.
Yes, where it's like, hey, look, you know what? It's one thing to kick us around, your brother around. It's another thing to let the other guy kick your brother around.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we can make fun of ourselves, but no. Everybody else doesn't have. And that was a cool speech.
But of course, for Independence Day, they're rehashing the speech. Roland Emmerich is just saying...
There's no reason to redo it. I'm sorry. I'm excited about some of the people... Yeah, but I don't care.
The ships are bigger.
I don't care.
The aliens are bigger.
I don't care. One of the things I am excited about for that movie...
It's his son.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm okay with it. I wanted to see, and I haven't seen yet, New Earth or Earth 2.
I saw that.
How was it?
Not good.
Really? What was that originally? A book?
Yes.
It was a good book.
It was a graphic novel because he did I Am Legend off of a graphic novel as well.
Right. I liked I Am Legend.
I Am Legend was good.
I Am Legend does not have a speech in it, does it? I keep thinking it does. It's not I Am Legend, it's, is it Ice Age? No, Day After Tomorrow? Some apocalyptic movie like that had a really good speech, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Deep Impact?
No.
With Morgan Freeman?
No, that wasn't a great speech. That was okay. That wasn't that great. I'm trying to think. There was another apocalypse movie speech. The one with the big ships where they get in the water at the end. Where they had
the Abyss?
No. The world's ending. It's flooding, and they all have to get on the ships. 2012.
Oh, with John Cusack?
Yeah, there was a speech in that.
Yeah, there's a speech in that.
And
I don't remember.
That wasn't a great speech, but it was in there. Top 7. Maybe top 8.
I'm only saying top 5. Well, of course, for me...
What's the other ones, then?
For me, it's James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good... James Earl Jones you can never go wrong with.
The voice.
Yeah,
and to me, that movie was all about, like, that one speech. Like, you go through that movie, but when you get to that speech, that moment I mean, hot lead, people thrown about everywhere. Never seen that before, nor do I ever watch it, nor do I ever wish upon anyone. But I think that scene in The Last Samurai
really speaks
really speaks volumes.
Yeah. Oh, it does. And it doesn't matter what age, what era, what kind of warfare. It still rings true. How willing are you to die, going back to the philosophy of this episode, how willing are you to die for what you really believe in? Are you willing to die for an idea? And that's what they died for at the end of it all. They could have surrendered.
Yeah, they could have said, you know what? The old ways...
We're good. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Give me the machine guns. We'll get rid of the swords.
Yeah.
And the armor.
Yeah.
And we'll just...
It's like the scene in the market when they cut his hair.
Yeah.
Is it worth the humiliation to have that happen to you, or do you just give it up? For what? For what value? And that's kind of the theme here. Is what do you lose of yourself by giving up what you believe in? No matter who says nay, whoever says different. The same for Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
It's the same for Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, yeah.
I mean, big time. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you believe. And in some of these movies, the endings were positive. Some of them were negative. But the point of it is do we die for what we believe in? Or do we live in mediocrity, compromising who we are? And I think that's a big question that doesn't get asked enough in movies these days. And I think we can quote a little bit here of some of the scenes in short speech, not really epic speeches, but in short speech, even Captain America. A little bit.
Oh, well, Captain
Towards
America,
the end. The last, like, spoiler alert, 20, 25 minutes, where it's really about, are you really going to tell me you knew this? And this goes against, and that one piece of information he kept from him, I believe, is what truly made Captain America, quote unquote, die. That is not what Captain America stands for. He does not do that, or be privy to that, not share that with the people that he cares about.
Well, and I told you from the first trailer, when I saw that first trailer, when, you know, they're fighting and you see the black eye on Tony Stark, and there's Cap, and he's got, like, blood coming off his face, and he's like, I'm sorry, Tony, but he's my friend. And he's like, so was I.
That's a great line. That's just a great, perfect line for that movie.
RDJ.
And they really encapsulated what the feel of that story was about, even though they went completely south with what the actual story was.
Right.
They made up the cards and changed it, but it's the same thing as whose side are you on? And again, with Captain America, even Spidey says it. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Even Spidey says it. It's like, he said, what else did he say about me? He said, well, he said you were wrong, but you're doing it anyways. I'm misquoting a little bit there, but, you know, he says you think you're right, and that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're not. And in the end, Captain America was wrong. Sadly.
Which he realized at the end.
Yeah, which is why he had to walk away.
Yeah, he dropped the shield,
and
he walked away.
That was a sunset. I know we're off topic, but we're on topic, because it's really about caring about things. And I think a lot of that, I mean, it goes back to something else I thought of here. It's moments in movies that really define great moments in time. And that's really what we're looking at. And the speech is kind of the thing. But I mean, a time of America, like you said, you know, where we were feeling unpatriotic and was really against ourselves. But Independence came along and gave us this great speech about, hey, you know what? We're still a good people. We're still good.
Hey, this is still a great country.
It's
I
still,
don't knock it.
No, it's still a great country. And it was funny because yesterday, and you heard this too, someone walked by my cubicle at work and they were like, I'm sorry, did I mishear you? Did you just say you enjoy what you do? So easy to knock everything.
Yeah.
It's harder to appreciate, I think, in our society these days. It's much harder to say, you know what, I actually enjoy what I do. I actually enjoy that movie. I don't care what the critics... And that's going to be a conversation we're talking about more in depth, is critics. Are they being too harsh?
I think there are more critics now because of the internet.
I agree. and more critics now who are less, I hate to put it this way, but less intelligent about what they're talking about. So they're just making exciting remarks just to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
This was trash. Listen to me, it's trash. It's like, no, it's really not trash. So.
I mean, for me, the whole philosophy of movies lately, what I've noticed is that it's a lot of end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
We've doomed the planet. We've doomed a species. We've doomed something.
Yes.
And all these movies kind of tie to that. I hear the Avatar 2 movie is going to be similar to that.
Mm.
You know.
And that's such a beautiful movie. I know it's going to be gorgeous. I mean, the plot was done. You know, it's not a new plot. The actors were okay. My daughter to this day will yell at the general. She's like, he's a mean man. He's a mean. I was like, okay, calm down, girl. He's just a character.
Yeah.
It was an overplayed plot, but it was gorgeous. And I hope the second one's gorgeous too. But I don't really have high expectations for story. I really don't.
You know, Jim Cameron, because he and I go back a ways.
Do you?
You know, he's not going to be cheap about it.
No, he's not, and that's okay. If he has the money to spend on a visual movie, I'm okay seeing a visual. I will see it in 3D. I think it's one of those few, because that first one, when I saw it in 3D, this is what 3D is supposed to be.
If it's shot in 3D.
If it's shot in 3D, and
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I went to go see BVS, which was not shot in 3D, but was, came out.
Yeah.
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
I was okay with what they did with the 3D scenes. Oh, and oddly enough, it's totally segue.
You missed the segue.
Best 3D scene ever. Guess what it is? Best 3D shot ever done in movie history.
Is this your opinion? Or
No, this was actually a list compiled by the New York Times.
Really?
Guess what number one was? Just take a wild stab, because you'll never guess it. I didn't even guess it.
Was it a movie shot in 3D, or was it a movie not shot in 3D but worked really well in 3D?
Movie shot in 3D.
Movie shot in 3D. Well, I'm assuming it's not going to be anything from Avatar. Or is it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I was figuring it wasn't. 3D.
Which is odd.
Which is odd, because there's a gore. I mean, that plant, when it goes, I mean, that was pretty sweet. It was not Captain EO.
No.
Okay. I'm trying to think of other 3D movies that are filmed. There isn't that many of them. I have no idea.
It's the Friday the 13th shot in 3D where the girl gets the axe and puts it into his head, and you actually see the axe handle come out of the screen. Like, supposedly that's the best 3D shot ever.
I'm lost.
Voted by the New York Times.
What movie? Which Friday the 13th was this?
It's the one that was shot in 3D. It's either Friday the 13th Part 3.
Okay. Because I didn't even saw any of the movies, so... I mean, I saw the first one. And I tried to watch one yesterday on Netflix. I don't even know what it was. It was some crappy... They brought an animatronic version of Freddy Krueger's hand back to life.
You're thinking wrong movie. That's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I know, but wrong... Same concept. It's the same stupidity. Horror done so many times over.
No, that's teen horror. That was the... rated R.
So was Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The genre. Yeah,
that's not genre.
That's not real horror.
It's rated R because you're going to see naked girls in it. At least a few scenes of makeout, and then you get to see them get speared or cut or sliced, or they die in some horrific way on film.
Okay, so what's good horror then? Because I'm not a huge horror fan.
All right, you're gonna think I'm weird about this.
Okay, go ahead.
Good horror for me was recently, honestly, The Witch.
Really? And I think a lot of times what people don't get in the horror business is it doesn't have to be overly horrible. It just has to be...
And honestly, you don't see anything witchy till the freaking end. And then
Spoiler.
you don't even... Oh, spoilers. And, that whole time, you're just like, oh my god, when is something going to happen here? Like, there's evilness going on. I just want to see someone flying, something happening.
But you see nothing.
Nothing. Until the very end. The last, few minutes of that movie is when everything, comes to fruition. And, damn, that's a horror flick.
It's another good horror flick, but I think it falls more into the psychological. It's 13 with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's more psychological.
But it's still...
Thriller. That's a thriller more than horror.
But it still fills a little bit of that creep you out kind of thing.
Another thriller/horror kind of crossover was Seven.
The one with the cop, with what's his name? Brad Pitt was the cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey
Seven Deadly
makes
Sins.
his
Yeah.
2 minutes of screen time and almost wins an Oscar.
Hey,
Kinda
it's
like-
Kevin Spacey.
All right, so I put for horror. Well, only because I just recently saw it, The Witch.
Which, right?
But I'd have to put the first Silence of the Lambs.
Have you seen the other stuff they've done with
I
that?
saw the other ones.
The dragon, the red
Yes,
dragon.
Red
that
Dragon,
was good
Hannibal,
too.
all of those.
Yeah, I haven't seen the TV show. Have you seen the TV show?
No, I never watched Hannibal.
Yeah, I didn't. The first Silence of the Lambs, that was creepy.
That was.
I can still quote that. Everybody can quote that.
Yeah,
That was good.
I watched that recently too.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Yeah.
It still holds up.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And
Joan.
Seven.
What is that?
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. Yeah.
And then you have Silence of the Lambs,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Seven.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of those
Those are good. Yeah, those are good.
both of those still hold up for me. I just saw The Conjuring. I could see the appeal, but it's more like, it's a pseudo biopic.
Mm.
Maybe it says it's based on a real story, but I think the only thing real about it are these are actual real people's names. Depending on how your belief system is, do you really believe in exorcisms, ghosts, the devil, and stuff like that?
Yeah.
If you do,
What? Speaking of exorcisms,
okay, go ahead.
the Poltergeist, or not the Poltergeist.
Poltergeist was a good movie.
That was a good movie, but kind of creepy. More creepy than scary.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah.
More than scary.
The Exorcist, what chick movies? The
first
puke.
one.
Yeah.
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Yeah. Does that count?
That's horror.
That's pure horror.
That's pure horror.
But I didn't find it that scary.
Keep in mind, we weren't of that era.
For religious and etc.
No one has done it like
Right,
that, and
right.
it's very much like we're going to give you dialogue. We're going to set it up. You're not going to see stuff. You're going to hear stuff. You're going to see stuff move on the walls. Oh my gosh, that's creepy. Then you see her do her thing.
That one scene.
When she's going down the stairs?
No. Yes, that. But no, that one scene from that movie with a young Obi-Wan, the one from
Ewan
the
McGregor?
prequels, Ewan McGregor, where he's British. Or, no, Irish. Irish.
She is Irish.
Well, no, but he was Irish in the movie. It was an Irish film. And he's going through withdrawal.
Train spotting?
Train spotting.
Yes.
That was a creepy scene. And that's not a horror flick.
No.
But that was damn creepy. And they've used that scene again.
Yeah.
They've used that scene over and over in other movies. That is freaky.
Yeah.
They used it in the movie about them faking this moon landing.
Oh, yes.
I saw that one recently, and that had the same scene in it. When he's going through withdrawal, he's going through the same scene, the little creepy baby on the ceiling. That's creepy. But again, it's more creepy than scary, I suppose, though, right? I mean, that's not...
For me, like The Exorcist, as a kid, that was one of those movies that I wasn't allowed to watch.
Oh, yeah, that's... Yeah.
And finally, I saw it, and I could see why. Because
Yeah.
if you're watching it as a child, it is so freaky.
It's like that clown movie.
It...
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm still terrified.
Yeah,
of
I can't watch that now.
Well, there were so many, and the weird thing about that is I think there was a lot of posters and a lot of cover art. Like, I think the book had to get a new cover because it just freaked people out.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's another one where he's in character. Tim Curry?
Yeah. Was it really?
Yeah.
I love him.
He's
fantastic.
He's it.
He is it.
And
I did not know that.
There's a shot of him, like, and it looks like this bombed out, like, house. Like, it looks like imagine like a house where like the door is missing, the window frame's missing, and it's just a shell. And it's just in the middle of nowhere, and it looks like it's just like deserted, and he's standing in the doorway, and it said free hugs. Like, dude, that just creeps me the freak out.
That's
Like, that's the
awful.
reason why clowns have escalated to
Oh,
like
yeah.
most horrific. They're living nightmares for me.
That's crazy.
The other thing I told you the other day, I
Spiders?
hand to God. Well, spiders are creepy. But, hand to God, I don't know why I did this. Someone was talking about ventriloquists.
Oh, yes.
And I did a Google search of ventriloquists. I dare anyone.
It's a creepy search.
You put in ventriloquist dummies. Click
No,
on
you don't
Google
even have to put in
images.
dummies.
Oh, you just put ventriloquists?
Yeah! I put in just ventriloquists to do
It's
your
a
search.
waking nightmare.
Ooh, that's bad. And there's some really creepy pictures.
Waking nightmare.
That is awful.
Yeah, you don't do that when you're alone. Don't do
No.
that at night.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it.
There's no reason to.
I know, what's his name? Jeff Dunham makes a mint off of that stuff.
Jeff Dunham's good, but his are funny. They're not scary. They're not creepy. They're parody of it. So from that perspective, I mean, again, I'm not a huge fan of it. I did want to become a ventriloquist at one point. Helps it put in the right hole. Hold on, folks.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties here.
All right.
The microphone was flopping around everywhere.
Sorry about that. We'll cut that out. But yeah, there's a lot of movies like that. Okay, so here's another one for me. What Dreams May Come.
Oh, yeah.
That I
well,
can't
that's
watch.
more...
No, those scenes when they're down...
Not horror.
Well, I understand it's not a horror movie genre, but those scenes when she's down there with the depression and the house...
Yeah.
That, come on. That's not horror. I don't know what is. I mean, it's horror on a psychological level, but damn, that's just...
I'd call that more of a thriller.
Yeah, but I know as a genre it's thriller, but that scene...
Oh, yeah, it's terrifying.
That freaked me out.
It's terrifying.
I can't watch that movie. I just can't.
Like, it's something like when you get that feeling of being uncomfortable watching it.
Yeah, it's like you're watching something you're not supposed to.
And you're like, dear God, should I be watching this?
Yeah.
Like, this is not...
There was brief moments like that in the Eternal
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. There's scenes like that in there too, where it just was so personal. And it's some of Jim Carrey's best drama work. He doesn't do much of it,
No.
but it actually was really good from that perspective as far as drama and creepiness. Again, not horror, but creepy. How the hell did we get here?
I don't know, man.
We went dark really fast.
We did go dark, but I am a fan of like movies.
Yeah.
So I kind of diversify when I watch movies, and recently I've been like watching a lot of horror flicks.
Yeah.
Thriller.
Never.
Flicks.
I like the psychologicals. Like, give me a good Inception. Give me a Dreams May Come in a very long once in a while.
But
can't watch that
I think
too
the
often.
horror ones, honestly, what they do in the end is it makes you feel alive. Like it gives you that little jolt, and you're like scared. And you're like, okay, I'm alive.
Saw.
The first one.
Yes.
With
I don't care what
Carrie
the rest.
Elwes.
Yes. That was awful. I mean, it was good, but that was.
And I'm wondering if that whole script was just based on the idea of what do you do if your family's at life and all you are is you're stuck in this no-win situation. There is no positive outcome
Yeah.
with this. I only saw that movie once, and
I only saw it
once enough
yeah.
is good for me.
Yeah. No.
I'm okay with it.
I never saw Saw after that. I never saw
No.
any of the others. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even imagine.
And I know they tried to create a
story, a bigger
Jigsaw?
overarching. Yeah,
Is that
Jigsaw.
the name?
Yeah, I think so. It was fine.
which was like a ventriloquist dummy. Go figure.
Well, there you go.
Ventriloquist.
There you go.
Living nightmares.
You know what was not a good horror movie? Hellraiser.
Which one?
The first one. If it's supposed to be horror, it's supposed to scare me at least a little bit.
No, that's a gore flick.
Is that a gore?
That's like goth, gore.
So that's not a horror. That's not the same.
I mean,
see, they're all kind of filter in the same.
It's kind of like saying Alien is horror.
That was the first one was scary, dude.
When
that monster came out of back,
no one can hear you scream.
No, not that. Not the tagline, but like some of those scenes where like you know it's there somewhere and you don't know which scene she's gonna walk around the corner and be getting some screamed at her or something jumping out of someone's stomach. That was pretty scary. I would count that almost more horror than freaking Hellraiser.
I think to me the second one, which Jim Cameron did.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said,
yeah, there you go.
he and I go way back. For me, the scariest scene was Newt when she gets into the water.
And
the
water scenes creep me out.
And I'm like, dear God, get the hell out of the water. Get
That's
out of the
another
water.
movie.
I'm like, get out of the water.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of those. And I never understood the whole water gore scenes, like Jaws and stuff.
Well,
they're just floating in the water. They're swimming. They're doing their little kick thing.
Which Jaws?
Any of them. There's always a girl.
There's only
in a
one
bikini. I know.
in my eyes.
Well, I know the rest are there, but there's lots. They've repeated this in many other movies. They repeat the same scene. We are seeing the girl in the bikini, kind of quasi floating with her little legs. She's not kicking. Okay, she couldn't stay afloat. You would not be able to stay afloat.
What, you never floated in water?
I've always had a kick. I've never could just float there.
You can't do the dead man float?
I can't. No.
What, you sink like a stone?
I do.
That's awful.
It is awful.
You have no buoyancy.
I don't. Well, it's because I have lung capacity issues. But one's deflated. But no, I can never do it. So I never understood. They're just floating. They're not really kicking. How does that work?
You can float.
Can you do that?
Yeah, water has enough surface tension that you can float.
Really? But you always have that under the ass scene, as I call it. Just before the animal pulls you under.
Well, that's the money shot.
Yeah, it's a money shot.
So,
if she was naked, it'd make it more of a money shot.
Well, you know the whole thing about Jaws, right?
That the machine kept breaking down.
Well, they called the machine Bruce,
Mm.
which is why in Finding Nemo the great white shark is named Bruce.
Yeah. That's funny.
So they kept calling him Bruce, and he never worked.
Right.
Like, there's Steven Spielberg. He's over budget. He's running out of time. So he had to rewrite the script as he's shooting it. So he has this scene, the girl swimming out. And what they did was off camera, they had someone tie a rope around her waist. One guy, another guy tie another rope around another waist, and they pulled back and forth to give that motion of her getting like
Eaten.
It's
awful.
See, but
you know what? That's creative.
That to me, not seeing the shark was more terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, though. And it's a lot of times that way. What was the other movie? One of Shyamalan's.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, all of Shyamalan's, basically. You never see the monster until, like, the last 2 seconds.
And then it's not even a monster, they're people. They're your parents.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, something stupid. Like the mermaid one. I think that's what I saw.
Well, he did one other where they went to grandma's house, and the grandparents were killing the kids or something like that.
Oh, really?
You never saw that one?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't.
Like A Visit to Grandma's House?
Oh.
That was M.
It's
Night
M. Night
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. Another one. I don't know if this is horror or not, but what about Here's Jack?
The Shining.
The Shining.
Okay.
You're going classic.
Everyone.
I don't find it scary though. I mean, I didn't really find it scary. I mean,
I found it weird.
It was weird. It was not scary, but it falls into the genre, right? I mean, it's technically a horror flick, a psychological thriller, a weird story that you really don't
like.
care
It's
about?
never really explained either.
Yeah.
Like you never understand it, and they talk about The Shining for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And in the book, Stephen King specifically said this is about The Shining, and Stanley Kubrick's like, "Well, I don't believe in any of that crap. I'm shooting my movie." And Jack Nicholson pulled it off.
Yeah, well,
I think Shelley
Jack was the
Duvall
best part of the
pulled
whole.
it off.
Yeah, she's all right.
And
Oh, yeah,
Scatman Crothers
Crothers.
is in it. He's the guy that comes over and gets the accents back.
Oh yeah. I don't know. The long-haired, black-haired chick. That was what's her name, right?
I thought that her name was Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. Is that who it was? I found it kind of mousy. It wasn't.
It's supposed to be. She's not a heroic figure.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, she plays it well, if that's the case.
Well, she's just trying to escape.
Yeah.
You know, her husband gets this gig where they have to watch what is it? A
house?
hotel.
A hotel. Yeah.
A hotel in a blizzard.
But they do use some of that scenes for the Twilight Zone movie.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I'm not sure which came first though.
Shining.
Shining came first. Okay.
Shining was like late 70s.
That hallway scene with the twins.
Oh, that's creepy.
That's creepy.
And I still like whenever I'm in the big hotels where like everything looks the same and it looks like I keep expecting to make that turn and seeing those two twins there. So that's permanently like etched.
Yeah, that is. It's one of those iconic scenes. It is iconic. You'll see it. You're like, oh my god, I know that scene. I mean, I've never seen the movie, but I know that scene.
Yes.
It's just one of those things. It's kind of creepy. So I think we've covered the gamut. Have we covered everything?
I don't know.
Did
we even cover anything to begin with?
I don't know. I'm lost. We got lost in this podcast. we went from philosophy.
Yes.
Philosophy.
To feels.
To feels. Emotions went to being scared by our emotions. Scared by our emotions went to fear, which is an emotion.
In looking at one of our previous episodes about
Yes.
the movies that are coming out,
Yes.
a lot of them really didn't have like happy-go-lucky endings.
No, I suppose that's true.
Except for the superhero movies, which really...
Even some of those didn't. Even some of those didn't have all. I mean, look at Apocalypse, the X-Men Apocalypse movie. Magneto, yeah, the world was saved, but at what cost? Magneto may never know he has a son.
Spoilers.
Oh, spoilers! Yeah, get over yourselves. You know, they spoiled it already. There's that other guy who does the movie reviews on TV. He did spoilers, and I think even JLS Comics did a spoiler on X-Men. I just saw it posted. Go watch. It looks good.
JLS Comics,
Yes.
big plug for them.
Yes.
And check out their YouTube channel. We just
Yes.
did a live interview with them
Yes.
this past weekend.
Yes, it was
Check 'em
very
out.
fun. Oh, it was a
It was
blast.
a great time.
Yeah, I think I was too flamboyant. I almost came across like, effeminate.
What, like a member of the Velvet Mafia?
It's something. I was like all flaily.
Yeah, you were flaily.
I was flaily.
I was watching you. I was like,
I'm a little extra flaily. That was kind of weird, but it is what it is. People seem to enjoy it. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the questions also.
Yes, appreciate that. We want more of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to see what's coming next in movies to see us get the feels. I love getting the feels. I know Dory's going to be the feels. There's a couple
Pixar's
of
going
those.
to make you cry.
Pixar always will make you cry. It makes me cry every time. It's just sad.
I don't foresee like any. I don't know. To me, like the live action princess stories that are coming out.
I'm excited about Beauty and the Beast because Hermione's in it. That's the only reason right now. I'm excited about that. I'd like to see a Mulan done well. It could be done well. Do enough karate, a little bit of, kung fu there. Getting back to that. There's some ones I'd like to see just to see what they do with it, but I'm ecstatic over them? No. It's been done. It's like, really, why are we rehashing?
I'll leave it up to our listeners. I mean,
Yeah.
do we really want to get another, like, influx of like really happy endings?
No.
Do we want to see more? The guy gets the girl. The guy saves the world.
The girl saves the world. The guy dies. That's what we should get.
The superhero catches the shiny thing.
No, we used to have the shiny things. We get it. You don't like the Avengers. We get it. Yes, we understand.
How do we get it? What does it do?
Galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I hope
Okay,
that's
Guardians
good.
of the Galaxy
Yeah.
totally
Okay.
got me.
Yeah, you're going to get
I'm
into
in.
that. Yeah, Volume 2. The
Volume
mixtape.
2, whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
I
a
hope
lot
they
of...
don't call it Volume 2 because that's a horrible title.
Well, they have the tape decks right on the cover, so it's like, we'll have to see what comes. But I think that's it. I think we're done. I don't know if we got anything accomplished in this podcast, but we've been literally here for an hour and 5 minutes doing nothing.
I enjoy something. Hey, look, and like I said in the interview, one of the reasons why we're doing this is if we give you guys, our listeners, the opportunity to like, we say something that makes you laugh
Yes.
or makes you think, I think we've done what we set out to do.
Or as one of our guests says, make some want to yell at us.
Yeah.
We're okay with that. If
We're
you end
okay.
up yelling at, we're okay with that. It's making you feel alive,
Yeah.
and that's what this episode's all about.
Yeah.
See how we wrapped it up? Yeah, I like
That's
that.
good.
That's good, right? Every once in a while, I come up with
We need to
good
work
one.
on the third act, though.
The third act, the ending.
The ending.
All right. Now, follow us on Twitter,
To all the social medias, Twitter,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Please, YouTube us. Hit us up hard on there. We got 200 views on all our stuff total right now. We'd love to have one get 200 just single. So come on and listen and watch.
Ask your friends. Hey, look, you guys don't even have to listen to it. Just download it.
Really?
It counts. It counts.
Listen to it. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
It is good stuff.
It's us. It's us.
It's Two Nerds and a Joke everywhere you go. Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram. We got one follower on Pinterest. Very excited by it. Finally one. Got one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Twitter, we got 2 accounts, so follow either one you want. We're both posting on all sites. We love y'all. We are going to say goodnight. And as always, Ernie, take it away.
Peace out.
Peace out.